the know, just how much to show, to know what to do, just jump in the queue, it's tailored to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's tailored to you. All in the queue, just check out the view. All in the queue. To show, to know what to do, just jump in the queue, it's tailored to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's tailored to you. All in the queue, it's check out the view. All in the queue.
I don't lose weight. I don't lose weight because all I do is win.
Honestly, it's a good point.
I don't lose weight. I don't lose weight because all I do is win.
Honestly, it's a good point.
I don't.
What up? How y'all doing? All right. Y'all doing good out there? How's y'all day been? My day has been eventful. I forgot to take off my thing off my arm. Just don't pay no attention to it if you see it come in the camera. I'm sure somebody will comment. But just to let you know, I'm fine. All right. So, here we go. Like I said, I hope you guys are doing well this evening. I'm going to get to speaking in just 1 second. As you see, the title is Thornton Township Recap. So we're just going to, talk a little bit about the first official meeting, right, that happened last night, which was very professional and business forward and expedient, So let me see who's here. Let's see. Hey, Mommy Gal. Hey, Dave Bryson. How you doing? Hey, K-Mac. How are you? Hey, Deb Hill. Seashell. What's going on? Hey, Miss Babe Solo. How are you? I hope you're doing good. I've been enjoying your little videos, the trip to Best Buy, and I think it was something else you were talking about your backyard. I enjoy that content. Just to, get to know who you are. It's great. Jim C. Hey, Tina P. How you doing? All right. If you would, please, when you come in, just if you could hit the like button. If you feel so inclined to share, then share. But if not, do what you do. Like I said, tonight we're going to be coming on talking about this Thornton Township recap. And I was trying to get on so fast that I did not pull up what I needed to pull up. So give me a second. That whole meeting lasted 30 minutes and I was late. And I think Napoleon was late too. Thank you. Thank you, everybody that liked the video. Appreciate you. Thank you to everyone who is listening and maybe not speaking. But good evening to you, and I hope that you're doing well. What is happening? I'm getting so many messages. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Getting messages on my phone, but on my computer that I can hear. Maybe you can't hear it, but I can hear it. But maybe you can't hear it. I don't know. Okay, so I have the video pulled up. Meeting lasted all but 30 minutes. Amazing. I was able to get back home before it even got dark. And I have a 45-minute ride. So that was amazing. Um, I wouldn't say that every meeting is going to go that particular way. Um, I do, in the foreseeable future, seeing that the meeting may last a little bit longer than 30 minutes. Um, I also kind of am still with the mystery of why the agenda was not posted to the website and still is not. Let me go and check it. When I checked this afternoon, it was not posted. And I'm sure that there's a learning curve, and I'm sure that the new clerk will have to be told a lot of things still. But I would have thought that that would have been a part of the training and the turnover that was happening while Loretta Wells was still there. And let me tell you one thing about Loretta that I really liked is that she had them agendas up on that website in a timely fashion. So the agenda for last night's meeting, I'm gonna have to grab my paper. It's still not up here, and I need to grab my paper right quick so I can reference something. Okay, I'm back. I had to grab my copy that I received when I got in the room. But as you can see, this is the website in real time. The May 19th meeting is up there, but the meeting from last night, which would be May 27th, is still not there. And like I said in my video, I do not subscribe to the Lansing Journal because I do not agree with their coverage. And that's my right. And so I don't subscribe to them. So should everybody get that preferential treatment, sending the email to the Lansing Journal? However, it may be a publication, but like I said, not everybody subscribes to the Lansing Journal. So putting it on the website so it's accessible to the public is key. So I wouldn't say it's a critique. I would say that it's an adjustment. And maybe it's an adjustment for her because she, needs to now start thinking like a clerk and having to make sure that everything is done. And if that's somebody else's responsibility, then she is the one that is over them, and she should make sure that it is done. And she should check herself just so that she can cover herself, right? Because there are still employees from the last administration in their places right now. And so, you just don't never know. And you can't trust anybody until you get to somebody's that you trust. Not saying that these other people are not trustworthy. I'm just saying it was not done. So I feel like that's an adjustment. Hey, living the moment. And hey, Easter Battle, how you doing? And so that is what I would say about it being posted. It does need to be posted. I don't know if she's aware. I'm sure that some of the other trustees will contact her and let her know that has to be done, or someone else will let her know that has to be done. And then that way everyone can access it that don't subscribe to the Lansing Journal. With that being said, I would say that the overall feeling in the room was one of joy. Oh, before I say that, I think that maybe possibly they should move these meeting times back to 6:30, just in case, because Napoleon is a senator, meetings in Springfield do get called. Sometimes they get called at the last minute, in the middle of the day, in the morning. He would have to travel there and then back, right? And just to give enough time in case of traffic or weather or anything of that nature, I think that it would be reasonable just to set the meetings at 6:30, just to give him time if something was to pop up during the day that he had to go to Springfield for. Hey, Cheryl Day. And but I think he still made great time. I think I was a few minutes after him, so I think he still made great time considering that he may have had something turn up in Springfield on yesterday. And so, yeah. But I think the overall feeling of the room was one of joy, one of peace. Hey, Jamal, Leotis here. How you doing? One of joy, one of peace, one of ready for change. The comments of the two, of the people that were saying that they were going to start coming back to the meetings now. I think that was a great thing, because community participation and public comment is always needed. And, just to be a part of you engaging with your community and the township, and if it stays in place, is a great way to bring all of the communities together, and then just start forming a sense of community back into the township, and to begin to start the communications opening up between the townships and the cities, the other municipalities that had shut off communication because Lil Stank was in charge. So I'm looking forward to that. The meeting was still packed. It was filled from the front to the back, with new faces, new people. So, same people. Robert Hunt was in the room. Stan Brown was there. Stan Brown was there, back there clowning. It was so funny. And yeah, I think it was very, very good to see the residents happy to be in the room, happy to be participating, happy to listen, and all of those things. So, but I grabbed a copy of the agenda because it was on the table. If I had known it wasn't on the website still, I would have scanned it so that you all could see it, which I still might do. The acoustics in that room was terrible. It was really hard to hear what they were saying, as there are no threats now. Why can't the people be closer? It would help with the audio as well. I think I'll send a message. I have not played back my video, so we're going to watch my video so I can see what it's like. And I think I'll send an email to someone and tell them about the audio. And Jamal, that is so funny. I will tell them about the audio and how it's hard to hear, and maybe the mics, something different can be done with the mics. Maybe the volume needs to be turned up on the mics. Now, I'm going to say this, Dave Bryson, because Napoleon is a senator. I don't think that them coming closer to us is going to happen because of that situation. Because, while Napoleon is not scared of anyone, let's be real, this man used to have 300-pound men running directly at him. So I'm sure that he's not afraid. But at the same time, he doesn't want to have to put himself in a position to where he has to defend himself. right? Because the media can spin that all types of ways, and we don't ever want that to be another conversation coming out of Thornton Township. So I will, hey, Master G, so I will speak to the audio people, which I can, get in contact with myself, send an email to them, and find out. We're going to listen to my audio so that I can see what it was like. And I'm sure that it was hard to hear, but I can fill in the gaps once we start listening. Do you guys want to see this agenda? If you want to see it, then I'll quickly scan it in so that you guys can see it. But if you give me permission, this is the agenda. You can't see it because of the light and everything. But if you give me permission, I'll just read from it. And we'll go from there. Because I don't plan on being on this live too long. We just have the ordinances to go over. We'll talk about a few things. But yeah, I will. Oh, you know what? While I'm up here, let me do it now. Why don't you have a crown? Who got a crown? What's happening with these crowns? Somebody asked me about a crown. You got your crown now? What is the crowns for? I don't even. Oh, this is something new. Community leaderboard. This is how many times that you engage with this community. I can tell you that right now. It's about how many comments you have made overall. This is awesome. I got to read up on this because I don't know anything about this, child. Let me see. It's going to tell me. Hold on. It says a place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream. You can always try again. How do you get on the leaderboard? You'll need to collect experience points or XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages. Send super chats and super stickers. That's all you got to do. I love this. All right. That is so cool. Come on, Seashell. You got your crown there too. There's a crown with a number behind some chat names. It's new to me. Yeah, I just read. I love this. This is cool. I love this. Start engaging so you can get you a crown. You got brilliant disguise. You got to start engaging. Yes, I love this. That is awesome. I was number 2 at the beginning. What do the numbers mean behind the crown? They have a leaderboard. I don't know. So if you guys are looking at your chat, right? Up above where it says live chat, you see this little thing. It says community. I have it on mine. I don't know if everybody has it, but it's a bubble right beside the gear, the settings gear, and it says community. Touch it, and it'll tell you it's the community leaderboard. That's your experience points. Tells you who's in the lead. The chat going to go wild now? I hope so. Because that's the point, right? Engagement. Hey, French Rents, how you doing? Hello. Tina P, I don't know. I wanted a dog anyway. Even if I didn't get a crown. Okay, Seashell, thank you so much. You can click on the purple crown to see. Yeah, you can click on the purple crown. Yes, encouraging Grammy doing. I love this. Okay, so let me send this message. Y'all got sidetracked by the crowns. Sorry. Let me send this message. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Message sent about the agenda on the website. And then I'll address the audio once we look at this. So let's switch. And again, I'm going to apologize for being late to the meeting because I only did 4 comments and earned 1. Let's see who's number 1 by the end of the live, y'all. Yes, come on. Come on. It's the only crown you're going to ever get, Dave? No, Dave, your partner will gives you a crown every day if you have one and they take care of you. Yeah, French Ranch. Somebody was saying that and I told them that I would address it. Let's see. Okay. I didn't make sure it was on the screen. Jesus.
You have 3 minutes. Paul Robert.
Child. Usually I'm on time. Y'all forgive me.
I wish to use my time before you to speak to those who may not have been participants in township board meetings for the last year or so. After decades of perfunctory meetings with rubber stamp boards, Thornton Township all of a sudden became newsworthy. As criticism of the previous supervisor grew, there were times when that administration excluded the public from board meetings or assaulted or took to court those who spoke publicly against the previous administration. After the feds delivered subpoenas, 2 trustees decided to represent the residents instead of the supervisor, and board meetings became contentious and viewed worldwide. When township board meetings became too dangerous for some of the trustees or the township attorney to attend in person, we residents noticed that local, county, and state law enforcement still ignored our pleas for help. Many of us wondered then if higher level county or state politicians condoned corruption in Thornton Township government when they told us to wait for the feds or to wait for the election. Well, for the first time in 30 years, most township officers in the 2025 general election did not run unopposed. Some of us hoped that Thornton Township might become a democracy instead of a dictatorship. Unfortunately, 85% of registered voters.
Okay. I mean, my audio, but y'all know my audio always crispy. I don't know. So I will still speak to them about the audio. I'll check a few others. The Harvey World Herald, they have not uploaded their video yet, so I'll check their video audio to see how that is. And Paul always has good information. I'm going to get to your question, Master G. That's why I put it up here. Yeah, the room was packed. And I hope it continues to stay that way. I think it will, because now, it's a new administration. Services are going to start coming back to the township so people can come back and request things. So, Babe Solo, Paul always has great information. I love the information that he brings. I'm just wondering when we should transition out of our trauma. Right? So comparing and speaking about the old administration. Okay, Tina P, be safe, all right? Make sure you take care of yourself. You can catch the replay, no problem. So when should we start transitioning out of our trauma? And begin to just judge this current administration on what they do. We know that the past administration was horrible, right? We know that. But we have to give this new administration time to address things. I don't see anything wrong with pointing out things that were put in place and asking about them. I don't see anything wrong with that, but comparing this administration to the last administration, I don't know about that one. That's a tough one for me. Yeah, I think that, we need to start moving in a manner to where we are giving this administration the proper time to address things. And there's so much to address that, one by one, we will have to do so. So let me address Master G's question. He asked, do I think all of the trustees will get along? Do I think they will try to be professional and have decorum as now elected officials? I do think so. Do I think they will all get along? Is that a requirement? I'm not sure that that's a requirement, right? We've all worked jobs with people that we don't like, and we still got the job done. I think that there'll be times when relationships will be strained because of, topics. People will have different opinions on topics, and hopefully they will. Hopefully there will be healthy debate and discussion on everything that is done. Hopefully there will be, questions asked and thought-provoking questions asked about things that are being done, right? Because these are elected officials. They were elected by the people. They work for the people. So whatever concerns the people should concern them. And their comments and their movements should reflect that they work for the people. And so, like any family, I think there'll be periods and times where people won't like each other, just because that's what happens in a setting of this nature. Okay, so I do think Paul had a lot of good points. What about the audit? The food pantry. These are things that were previously voted on that have not been acted on. But again, we're 1 week in. So, time is going to be an issue. Hey, Grandma Beans, you're not late. Time is always going to be, the enemy, right? Because people are going to want you to do things right now. And that's not really the way, that things work. Will have to work. Or I will say this particular supervisor has a plan on how they want to do things, and it's not necessarily going to be the plan that we, would think. So, you'll just have to see what happens. All right, so that was the majority of Paul's speech. Those were the things that he talked about. And he wanted to know when they were going to happen.
Next up, Mr. Burton. Sorry, Mrs. Burton.
Good evening to all my Thornton Township neighbors. My name is Renew Burke.
Hey, Reality Check TV.
I've been resident of Thornton Township now for close to 40 years. Originally, I lived for 8 years in Dalton before moving to South Holland, where I currently reside. I basically put my name down to speak today because I have been such a long-standing person in this community, and for the last 3 years, I was almost unable to attend the board meeting just based on.
I think that it was very, this woman, if you didn't watch the meeting or you haven't watched it yet, this woman really kind of touched me because she said that she had not been attending the meetings because the meetings were affecting her health. And, the mental health portion of the township had been dismantled when Little Stink came into office. And it was something that was much needed, as you can see, because she won't be the only person that states that they stopped coming to the meetings because of disrespect, just chaos, and it really just was affecting them. And so I'm glad to see these people coming back to the meetings and participating, especially long-standing residents such as this young lady. And so, anytime a senior citizen comes up to the podium and states that they could not attend meetings because of the mentally chaotic nature of them, that is my vote to have the mental health portion of the township come back, right? Because these meetings are going to get a little bit more strained and a little bit more strained as the forensic audit takes place, as the employee roster gets addressed, as just unraveling some of the things that were done in the general assistance fund, because she couldn't get her hands on the general fund too much. But the general assistance fund and those things get unraveled. I think a lot more meetings are going to become strained as you peel back the layers of corruption that have been done, right? The meetings were very chaotic and hostile, and so I think, there's going to be a lady that's going to comment about mental health and services. So I hope that they are able to connect with her and her organization on providing some mental health services to the residents again. Just put it on my chair. Sorry, it's my son. Just put it on my chair. Sorry. And so I think that's going to be something that needs to come back. And they said all of their services are free. So it was a joy, but it was also a heartbreak to hear, that she wasn't able to attend the meetings. Don't sit on it. I'm not gonna sit on it. I'm not gonna sit on the French wrench. They always bringing their electronics in here to be charged.
But there,
Dave Bryson, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. The people that enjoy chaos or watching chaos, or it was really like a half and half. So people that enjoy drama were going to the meetings, but also people who were protesting the drama, right? Who wanted to be present in the room when she did some of these things to confirm with their own eyes that this is how she acts, right? Instead of hearing it secondhand from their neighbor saying, you should have came to the meeting last night. That girl acted a fool, right? And so there were a lot of people there just trying to confirm that they should not vote for her, right? Yeah, and there were a lot more people that couldn't attend because of their health, and they just, that was just too much in the room for them. But yeah, you listen. You get people who, and there were a lot of YouTubers starting to be in the room too. So let's be fair. I just want to be fair and say, there were a lot of us in the room that were there to film and were there to, allow people to watch it in real time, just to solidify the reports of things, right? And so yeah, people still came, Yeah, definitely a difference, and definitely different people. You started to see different people. The people who was just tired of it, they didn't come anymore.
Good evening, everyone, including the board. I just want to congratulate all of you for representing us. And I know it's been a long, hard fight, but we're over that. And what I wanted to say, I was not able to attend a lot of the township meetings that's due to my health, but I'm looking forward to great and mighty things from all of you.
And again, we hear the comment again. They were not able to attend for their health. It was not safe. It actually was not safe at some of these meetings, i.e. the brawl that happened at the meeting, i.e. the goons that would be in the room. It actually wasn't safe for a lot of people, especially the elderly people, to be in that room. And I think, too, other people that began coming to the meetings began to come to make sure that the people that were in the room were safe as well, right? Being that the police and the security was trying to be weaponized against the residents. So, that too. Hey, Hamilton, how are you doing? But two other things I was glad to hear. People saying that they had comments and questions that they were going to begin to ask and bring to the township meetings. So I think the engagement is going to get higher. And the security let it happen, Dave Bryson, because they was being controlled by a little stank and they were being weaponized against the residents. So they're very difficult. But now, if you go now to the meetings and you see the security, it was more so the South Highland police that may have been somewhat, they tried to stay out of it. But, when they couldn't, they were, I don't know if they were forced to do what Lil Stank told them to do. I don't know what the situation was with that, but there was definitely a situation. I like that this lady made a comment and said she didn't bring her questions tonight, but she had some and she would be bringing them back. And I think she asked for something. Let me see what she asked for.
And I know that it has been a struggle, but you're in a new struggle now. So I'm looking forward to you all, and looking forward to attending all the township meetings. I'm a Harvey president. I've been there for about 10 years, so I'm still learning things. I'm still learning new things about the township and also about our meetings at Harvey. But I'm willing to learn, and I have questions, but I don't have them now. But you will see my face in some of these meetings. I started coming early, which was around May, due to my health. But I watched everything on YouTube, so I'm able to view a lot of things. And I just want to say I'm proud of you all. And I think we got somebody that is going to listen to us, because we need somebody to hear us as well. Thank you.
Wendy Kelly Coleman.
I wasn't planning to speak today, but as you all know by now, I'm a busybody and I like to stay involved in what's going on in the township. I heard people mentioning years. I moved away, so I heard talking about Kilmer Junior High and Thornwood, and all my kids live there and they're now grown. I met you when you first opened up your Baby's Pizza. You showed me, you probably don't remember, but you showed me around the place. You're very proud of it, you should. Congratulations to you all. Of course, I've been poking around already, and I noticed some things that still need to be done on the website. I still see some references to Henyard out there, and so I'm eager to see that gone and to see information totally about the new administration up there. But I have total confidence that we've got the right people in place now to make this township what it should have been and stop the madness. So I'll be at the meetings. I promised Mary, she's my friend, that I would be showing up. I stopped showing up a while ago due to the disrespect. I said I'm not gonna waste my time anymore, but I'm back now that we got a new administration in, and I'm very, very optimistic about the future of the township. Thank you.
one thing about this commenter that I was glad to see that the trustees are engaging with the community and they are inviting people to come back out to the meetings, letting them know that there is a new administration in place and that they would love for them to come back to the meetings. And so I do like that aspect of what she said, and that was a great thing. And I think all of the trustees should engage people and be letting people know, hey, come back to the meeting. We have a new administration. I'm a part of it, and we would love to hear your voice. And I think that will gain more participation from the residents in the community. Master P, you said, do I know how long forensic audits take? I can't see anything being more important than that right now. Now, for me, forensic audits, okay, we're talking forensic audit. When you think forensic audit, you think very detailed. Every department, right? They ask for every department. They ask for senior services, youth services. I think they have community outreach. And I don't know what other department they have, but that means that they will have to get, and it goes 3 years back. So they will need all of the ledgers of spending for 3 years in each of these departments. So for me, Dan Lee's going to make a comment and ask that they get monthly updates on the forensic audit. Now, that is the portion that I think is going to be very important. This particular forensic audit goes 3 years back. I mean, you talking, it's probably going to take at least a year for them to get a full picture. We talking about forensic audit. If they hire an outside firm, not Casper, an outside firm, that will be all hands on deck. In order for them to safely get it done and correctly in under a year, they would have to put multiple departments on this audit. So, if it was me, they pick my firm. Let's say they pick my firm. I'm going to do a RFP. I'm going to say I might say I need 24 months. You asking me for 3 years, I need 24 months, right? Not saying that I'm going to take the whole 24 months, but I want to have a realistic goal. And I would love to see the RFPs written so that the forensic auditors put in that they will be giving updates at 3-month interval, 6-month interval. Or, if they ask for monthly, which I don't know is reasonable, because these audit companies will have other clients. But if they say they can do that, then that's what I would ask for. But if they say we're going to do 3, 6, 9 and continue it out like that, I think that is reasonable as well. But monthly for me would be great. They got to first start with collecting all of this information though from the department heads. And these people will have to be timely. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what was going on as well in these departments? Are these people organized, these department heads? Are they knowledgeable to be in the position they're in? Did they keep complete records? Right? So realistically, I would say to have a full and complete picture, we probably looking 2 years into this 4-year administration, right? Should we give deadlines? Yes. Should we have updates? Yes. I don't know what a realistic update would look like or what they should ask for, but it's probably going to start at that 3, 6, 9 month interval, because when they initially get the papers, they got to sort through everything and they have to be up to date on municipal law, right? They need to know just like Dalton, they need to know what the limits were, what limits everybody had that they couldn't go above. And then they need to start sorting out, okay, this year, This is 2022. This is 2023. This is 2024, right? Then they've got to go back and start sorting out who had credit cards. Get them up on the board, man. The way I would be doing this, I have me a cork board in my office. That thing will look like a crime scene because I have people's pictures and names, and then I will have credit cards that they have. I will have the amount they spent per month. I would try to have a list of what it was on. I mean, all of this has to be done. I mean, man, the amount of information, if they do 3 years, which they should, is daunting, right? So, it would have to be a forensic audit. And for me personally, I'm just gonna tell you, for me, I would not want it to be anyone that was in the state of Illinois. I would want it to be somebody that is outside the state of Illinois, just to make sure that there is no tomfoolery going on with this audit, right? No way that anybody could be bribed, no way that anybody could leave out information. I don't know if that's possible, but that would be my vote. So I would want an RFP from maybe from Washington, D.C., somebody in there, can you give us a list of auditors that you all use over there or something? I'm just trying to catch up on comments. Correct. Yeah. So it's going to take time. Like I said, if it was me, it's going to be 24 months to get a full picture, and some of the departments may be okay, right? I personally would want to start with that youth services department, because was there ghost payrolling going on in that department? The department head director was supposed to be Kamal. What do he know about? He don't even have any education. So what went on in this department? Who was in this department? Who got paid? What was the payroll in this department? Where did it go? So that would be where I would want to start immediately. And I don't know if there's a department here over youth services right now, because they got rid of Kamal, and I don't think they replaced anyone. So I don't know what is happening, who's the interim, or what is happening with their department. So, yeah. But I love that she made the comment that she was invited back by a trustee, and she's glad to be back.
Mr. Dan Lee.
Did anyone else notice how everyone was smiling when you got here today? You have no idea how good that feels. But
Okay, Reality Check TV, thank you for stopping in so much, my friend. I hope you have a good evening. If you have to leave, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you for that.
there are a couple of things that I was wondering about. That forensic audit that was mentioned by Mr. Roberts, is it possible to get updates on that monthly, at least on the website, if not here at the meetings? Because that, to me, is one of the main things that we need to do to move forward. We can't do anything unless we know how we stand financially and have it confirmed. Secondly, these Senate having an election pretty soon. There were several candidates out there that are asking for our votes. This is what I'm thinking. Since we're only going to do one meeting a month for the next June, July, and August, I'm thinking that possibly, since they want our vote, come here and tell us what the hell you're going to do for us. A lot of them did not show up during all our turmoil over the last several years. And I saw a whole bunch of them putting in line for chicken at the inauguration. Enough of that, okay? You want our vote, show up and show out. Show us what you're gonna do, and let us know that you're not gonna disappear when the cameras disappear. And I have a question about one item on the ordinance, on the agenda. Ordinance 24007, item B. I don't quite understand, that has.
Not yet, Journey. I will when we get to it in the actual meeting. I was just going over some of the comments.
Rescinded and it's gonna be reversed, or maybe I had that wrong, I don't know, but I would, if you get a chance to explain this, I can't be the only one that doesn't know what that is. I have no clue what that is, so. And it was really nice to see the unity between Thornton Township and some of our newly elected Dalton officials at the parade on Memorial Day. We need more of that. We ought to schedule some joint ventures, not just with Dalton, but, whomever. Whoever gets elected and whatnot, we can get out there and meet the people together, and that can only help our community. So that was really nice to see, all those smiling faces, Thornton Township and Dalton, and nobody was fighting, nobody was arguing, everybody was smiling, everybody was happy. It's not gonna always be that way, but, we can hope, can't we? And this is from, a young lady asked me to ask you all, that west side door that says go around to the front to get in. Some folks park on that side. Is it possible to get that manhole open, for some people that have access, could have better access to get in and out of the building? That's something that might be helpful on the agenda going forward. Okay, I won't waste any more of your time, but just some items that, off the top of my head. Thank you.
Dr. Nicole Scott.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom past some of these comments. Dr. Nicole Scott, she spoke about partnering with the township. She lives in South Holland, but everybody knows she's a business owner in Dalton, and she speaks to the food desert out there. And her market, Free Indeed Market, does help the community with food resources. And I hope that, for me, she's a business owner. I think that they can utilize her very well in the pantry. So if they could get her somehow to be able to help with this establishment of this pantry that Paul was talking about, that it was voted on but never established, I think that she would be a great addition. Maybe create a citizens board for the pantry, and have her be president of the board or over the board, at least on the board, to help facilitate this pantry and to make sure that things are being done properly, things are being stored properly, as far as pest control and all those things, keep up with inspections of the building, whatever building they use, make sure that the volunteers are there, also make sure that the paid workers are there and doing their particular job, and just there to receive and do everything. I think it would be great to have her as an addition to that portion or that arm of the outreach. I think that department is called outreach. And hey, Bug Baby, how you doing? And so she made a comment, just letting them know who she was. She has a sweet spirit, and I think that she serves the community of Dalton with grace and humility. And I think that she would do a great job helping out with that. All right. So we're going to get past this and go into the meeting portion, I believe. This was the mental health lady right here.
Provide information. So one of the things that I heard people say a lot of is how much more relaxed.
And she's also out in Dalton, and she said all of her services are free. I'm going to try to get one of her flyers, her informational flyers, and I'll post it in our post area. I'll try to get a flyer.
The first order of business is the approval of minutes. To approve the minutes of the special board meeting for May 19th, 2025. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the special board meeting for May 19th, 2025. Motion was made by trustee Byron, seconded by trustee Avant. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Avant? Yes. Supervisor Harris?
Yes. The motion passes. The next is the approval of bills. A, general fund. I move that we approve the general fund bill excluding items 27 through 30. There, a second? Second. Clerk, take the roll.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Avant? Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the removal of items 27 through 30. Let me see something, because I think these are the same ones that Carmen always used to remove. It has to deal with some unauthorized purchases by Los Stank. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can see what I can see. Anyway, I know that it has to deal with that, with those same ones. Hey, Thomas's Vision, those same ones that Carmen used to take off, that have to do with Southland Communications, which is Jerry Genova, and he wants to be paid for, it was like $5,000 for these flyers that Lil Stank was having made that were not in compliance. And so they always take those off. Are the trustees' bios back on the website? I can check. Let me see. We'll see right now, because that's one thing I haven't looked at, but I do think they are back on the website of the new trustees. Let's see. Let's see. I see Napoleon Harris's bio is up here. Let me switch to this tab. Can you see? So Napoleon Harris's bio and everything, his picture is up here. I don't see the trustees. I see the clerk's office, but her picture is not there. Loretta's picture used to be here, but her picture is not there. Let's see. Cassandra's picture is still, because she's still the assessor, so her stuff is there. I just do not see anything related to the trustees yet. Let me see, maybe here. This is about the largest township, all of the townships. I would think it would be under government, but I don't see anything. And for me, I hope they do something about Tanika, because she was the notary that signed that paper that the mayor of Dixmoor said he absolutely did not sign, and she notarized it. So, you know, I don't know, but I hope something is done about that. I'm sure she may be was good at her job, but I don't know. The character is questionable for me. So, you know, it's probably a work in progress, like Dave mentioned, and they are making their way to doing all of that. I'm sure it takes time. Don't forget that they also changed IT department heads. So that may be a bit of the backlog, just trying to get the IT person up to speed and then him having to load in all of these things or creating the pages. Now, in the future, you should be able to go here to the RFPs and find out if RFPs have been received for the audit. Thornton Township Lawnmower Maintenance Services, this is the bid that they put out for the contractors. So whenever that is ready to go out for bid, the RFP should be here for the contractors to come and get and be printed out. But you'll be able to know when they start doing that. So we'll be checking that weekly to see when that happens. Okay, let me go back. I can't see what y'all are saying. Can those items be permanently removed? Yeah, Journey, that's what I was about to say. Hopefully that somebody makes the motion to permanently remove them, but they will have to make the motion. They will have to put it on the agenda and then make the motion, have it be a motion that they want to make. Is Stephanie going to make more or less than the admin? I don't know, but we can definitely, which unbeknownst to you all, I've already put in a FOI for that information, right? Because you can FOI for that information. That's public information. There was an uproar about her not receiving the position. I think that was an assumption that people made, a quick assumption. I think the first appointments that he made were critical appointments, right? The IT person, you have to get rid of the IT head that was loyal to Tiffany immediately, so that your information and security is not compromised. I think he did the administrator of the township, the Keith Freeman position. That position probably was essential to be able to have someone there daily to be able to gather information about these employees and who they are and everything. Hey, Justin. And so let's see what is next.
Yes. Yes. The motion passes. Next, the approval of bills from the General Assistance Fund, item 7B, and also the Road and Bridge Fund, item 7C. We have a second? Second. Second by trustee Gonzalez. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes. So items B and C, item 7, B and C passes. Next, we're moving on to old business. No old business to pick up. The approval of resolutions, proclamations, and ordinances. Section 9A, approval of ordinance number 25-003, establishing rules for governing meeting for Township Board.
Okay, so we're on the first ordinance, which is 25003, establishing rules governing meetings of Thornton Township Board for Thornton Township, Cook County, Illinois. I think that this was very important to reestablish order to the township as far as meetings. That's not the right one. This is the one. And we're going to go through these rules a little bit. That's hilarious, Candia. That's hilarious. Oh my God. Listen, just do what we do, Candia. Nobody ever calls him by his last name. We either call him Napoleon or Napo. It's one of the two. I don't think anybody really has called him Senator Harris. I think a lot of people just call him Napoleon. He's not opposed to it. He never corrects anyone about it. is almost a non-factor to him. He doesn't even really, it's not an issue. So just call him Napo or Napoleon. To me, he's so nice and laid back. He doesn't even, as long as you disrespect him, he doesn't care. It's hearing his name called during the meetings, I know. Was the order Dan asked them to explain. This is not the order that Dan asked them to explain. The next one is the order that Dan asked them to explain. So this is the rules, establishing rules governing the meetings of Thornton Township board. I know that's right, Dave. Hopefully we won't ever have to do that. So, all right. So, here are the rules. And I think this was important just to reestablish order, to the rules. And he set the time and the place of the meetings. They'll be held the second Tuesday of every month. There'll be one meeting a month during the summer months, and then 2 meetings a month during the rest of the time. And I think it's a Tuesday or a Thursday. Usually it's 2 Tuesdays, but sometimes it was a Thursday. So I don't know how he'll regulate that. And then letting people know that special board meetings can be called. It takes 2 board members or the supervisor alone to call a special board meeting. And the request has to be made 48 hours before they want to have the meeting in order for that to take place. Let's see. Then this is the general rules telling you that the majority of the township board constitute a quorum. The township supervisor acts as the chair. If the township supervisor is absent, then the board will nominate someone and then vote in his absence for someone to take that. And then the township board may determine an absence by one of its members is excused or not. So that's done as a board. Absences are deemed excusable or non-excusable as a board. I think that's one thing that was not being done. Bill Stank was just saying she could say when somebody was excused or not excused, which is crazy. So this is establishing that it takes a board, that they vote to say this is an excusable absent or not excusable absent. And they'll do something like that in closed session. That will not be something that they will handle in front of the people. The chair shall be responsible for preserving decorum. Napoleon is the chair, so I doubt anybody get out of line. But if they do, he is responsible to keep them in order with consultation from the township attorney, because the township attorney is really supposed to act as the parliamentarian. He tells them when they are not in compliance, when they have broke ordinances, if they have, and he explains ordinances and makes sure that they stay in compliance. So hopefully we will be seeing, and as you could see in this meeting, he did a lot of conferring with the lawyer to make sure that he was doing things properly and that he was not, out of order. And that was great. It's set forth public comment will be 3 minutes per speaker. The meeting rules can be suspended with a board vote. Has to be a 2/3 majority vote. Then he set out the meeting rules of procedure. In all cases covered by these rules, the provisions of the latest published edition of Robert's Rule of Order shall govern. The Township Board of Trustees meeting shall, I gotta close some out because I keep getting, is that it? Nope. Okay. The Board of Trustees meeting shall follow the meeting agenda unless the proper motion is made to consider an item out of order. So Napoleon doesn't need anybody's permission to take and move things around on the agenda because he is the supervisor. But if one of the trustees wanted to move something around, they would have to ask to be recognized by the chair, and then they would have to say, I would like to make a motion to move 10A to up further. And so then they would vote. If a motion does not receive a second, the motion fails. No discussion may be held on a specific question. When a motion has been seconded, discussion, debate, and questions by the board members may follow. All right. Rules of discussion. Rules of discussion. Now, I feel like this is going to be very important, especially as these meetings go on and you start to have difference of opinions in how things should proceed, or, just opinions, period, on some of the items on the agenda. It says no board member may speak until recognized by the chair. And so you will see NAPO, somebody just like they do in Dalton, when they say, supervisor, may I be recognized, is what they should be asking. And once he says, Trustee Gonzalez, go ahead, then he'll be able to speak. That's how it's supposed to go for discussion. Once they open up discussion for something. No member may interrupt the speaker or hold any private discourse during discussion of a motion. So you remember how Lil Stank used to be having side conversations with Darlene on the side when people were talking? She shouldn't have been doing none of that, because this right here tells you, this is Robert's Rules of Order. It tells you you are not to be having any private conversations while someone is speaking. Certain subsidiary motions may be made during discussion on the main motion and must be voted upon unless rescinded or withdrawn. The only subsidiary motions that may be considered when a main motion is on the floor are as follows. So let's say that they are having a heated debate or a heated discussion. Let me see what y'all saying. So essentially the supervisor's and mayor's role is to keep the meeting in topic and running smoothly. Yes. And the lawyer is to keep it legal. Correct. The parliamentarian, he is to stop people from doing something wrong. He immediately speaks up. He either going to speak to the supervisor or he can speak out loud. He is the only one that has the permission to override anyone speaking. He can override them and say, you cannot do that. Okay, and the subsidiary motion that I just read, so if they're having a heated debate about something and they can't seem to come to an agreement, anybody can do one of these motions. So a trustee, let's say Byron can say, supervisor, I'd like to make a motion to table this issue until a later date. You can do a certain date or you can do indefinite. These are all the ways that they can motion to stop a discussion if the discussion becomes too heated. Now, this right here, if I was a new trustee and I'm a laid back person, I feel like Byron and Chris are probably the most laid back on this board. So I feel like this is what I would familiarize myself with. If I felt like a discussion was getting too out of hand, I would say, Supervisor, may I be recognized? I'd like to make a motion to table this until the next subsequent meeting, just to give yourself a breather from the discussion if it's not going anywhere. So I hope that somebody employs this right here when these discussions maybe start going round and round in circles. Upon close of discussion, the chair shall call the question of a vote. The clerk shall call the roll and record the vote of each member. The chair shall then announce the result of the motion. Any board member that has a direct financial interest in the motion may not vote and must recuse him or herself from all discussion on that particular motion or matter. Now this, boy, I can tell you, Lil Stank probably broke this right here 1,000,000 times. Okay. So if there is any type of motion on the agenda that it could involve a contractor per se. Let's say it involved a contractor and one of the trustees has a working relationship with them, then they should recuse themselves. Let's say the contractor, maybe the individual person, they own a business, but they worked on somebody's campaign on the board. The person who campaigned they worked on should recuse themselves from the vote. They should say, I abstain from the vote because this person worked on my campaign. Or I abstain because I have a professional business relationship with this vendor, so I abstain from the vote. And so this right here is going to be something to watch as well, in case, any of those situations arise. Motions regarding parliamentary procedure, point of order. Any trustee may call for a point of order when he or she feels the rules are being violated. So if somebody feels like they overstepping, they're getting off topic, they can call for a point of order and say, trustee has gone off topic. There can be an appeal if a trustee disagrees with the chair's decision regarding parliamentary procedure. Reconsideration, the trustee can, who votes with the prevailing side on any motion or who was absent from the vote may move for a reconsideration of the motion for reconsideration is no longer in order after expiration of the next regular board meeting. So Ms. Stubbs or Valerie was absent from this meeting. If she sees anything on the agenda or she, gets the notes from the agenda and she feels like she wants to talk about something that she missed, she can ask for a reconsideration of any of these motions because she was not there. So, that's good to know too. Should have attended when they voted hanging in it. Oh man. Yes, they should say if they have yeah. And that's something that Lil Stank was not doing. Attorneys work for the majority of the board, even if they go around a policy. Yes. SP, more than half of the trustees know how to proceed. No, I just got to make sure that I'm researching these things before I come to you all with them. So I do a lot of researching, reading, and, asking questions of people. I don't know everything, but I do know people that are in this process currently, right? And so I send them questions, I ask them questions, and thankfully they respond, so that I know what to tell you all. This is a resident education platform, right? The education that I am giving you should be something that is real and true, right? Right. So, and here we go. They put back the remote attendance policy. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you what was so funny. You remember at the end when Lil Stank correct DMG, the point of order can be denied as it wasn't tenly. Yeah. What do you say? She wouldn't have been able to vote on nothing during her time. I'm telling you, Candia. I'm telling you. I am telling you nothing, because a lot of those vendors donated money to her campaign, and immediately she should have recused herself from any vote on them hiring anyone that donated to her campaign. Child, listen. Anyway, they put back the remote attendance policy. And let me tell you something. If you go back to the meetings of the year of 2023, you will see all through those agenda minutes where Darlene was allowed to call in, Carmen was allowed to call in, Lil Stank was allowed to, Jerry Jones was allowed to call in. And then all of a sudden, Lil Stank came with this, you can't call in. You can't call in a meeting. Child, go look at them meeting minutes. A mess, a total mess. Okay? And so they put back into the meeting, and they had to do this to put it on record, right? These things have to be put on record, into the record, and voted on to be active. And so they put in the remote attendance. This is the non-emergency one. So they're able to call in if there is not a quorum. So what happens for remote attendance, right? The reason that Carmen was asking to call in remotely was because without her, there was no quorum. So if there's a quorum without your absence, then you don't need to attend remotely and they don't have to let you. But if there is no quorum, then you can ask, they can say, well, so-and-so going to be absent and they're not going to be available. Can you attend remotely? And if they say yes, then there should be a vote for that person that say, yeah, I can't be there in person, but I can attend remotely. This allows that to happen. Okay. Hey, eyes open. How you doing? Yeah, no, I'm gonna call her super nothing. Super. She's not super anything. We have vendors who are giving donation to board members who are in lawsuits with our village. Abysmal, because they should be recusing themselves and they actually should be leaving the room. They should be recusing themselves from any vote and leaving the room when there is a discussion had about said vendors. Child, a mess. And somebody needs to start speaking on it. But yeah, this allows for remote attendance again, for the trustees to be able to call in when there's not a quorum and somebody can't be there physically, but they can attend remotely. And there's rules with remote. They have to be in a quiet place with no one else around them. And if they're going to be in a place where other people are around, they do have to disclose that to the board and to everyone that is watching. And so that puts that back. And then they also have a disaster remote meeting policy now. So if there is, let's say, a tornado, if there is flooding to the point where they can't get in to have the meeting, they can now have it remotely via Zoom and it be accessible to everyone in the township. And as well, when they have these remote meetings and you want to make public comment, you have to send your public comment via email to the clerk's office the day before the meeting. I'm going to show you that because I just want people to be aware of this, because you never know what's going to happen if we go back into some sort of COVID lockdown, because that starts ramping up again. I don't know. In the disaster remote meeting, the supervisor will determine if a remote meeting happens because of government putting something in place. Like the first one, number 1, says that there's a public health disaster and we all are being quarantined, or if because of it's dangerous and it's dangerous to come in. And so it says the rules of procedure when remote attendance is utilized. The minutes of the meeting shall so reflect such trustee attended the meeting by remote means. Every trustee shall be identified during all board discussions so that each trustee is aware of which trustee is speaking at all times. Now on Zoom, they should be able to put their name, but as well, they should say this is trustee so-and-so and then start their comment. Just so people know who is speaking. They have to verify that they can hear each other. I'm trying to get to the part where it says for public comment. Trustee attending meeting remote means. That one said you can't have anybody in the same room. That's number 2. All the votes have to be conducted by roll call. And here it is, G. Members of the public wishing to make a comment during an audio or video conference meeting of the Board of Trustees must submit their comment to the township clerk in writing by electronic mail or personal delivery by noon on the date of the meeting. Additional accommodations for public comment may be provided to the extent deemed feasible, including live public comment. Notice of said arrangements shall be provided on the notice of the meeting so affected. Okay, so keep that in mind just in case, lockdown happens again. Let me go back to some of these comments because double standards for sure. Should the attorneys know the rules? They should. And they probably help write these ordinances. So whoever helped write these ordinances, they all probably know and have looked them over just as I have. So then Stubbs was not available at all that night. I would say Miss Stubbs, she's about her business. So she probably had something already scheduled for that evening. And she, did what she had to do. I'm sure it was something important to her. And because there was a quorum, she didn't have to be available. And I'm sure it was excused. Hold on. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, there you go. If they don't follow the rules and there's a lawsuit, does the attorney make more money? I don't know, DMG. I would say no. I don't know that it's, well, you know what? I'll let you know when I get the answer to that, DMG. As soon as I get the answer to it, though, I'll let you know. They have a number of meetings to attend. Yeah, there's a number that they, Journey, I'm sorry. I just have to tell you, I'm just saying, if it happens. Attorneys were telling the board to not respond to FOI of those bringing lawsuits deemed shady. Yeah, there's a whole mess. That is a whole other conversation. And, whew, I don't know. I think that is something you should turn in specifically to the Illinois Attorney General's office and also to the public access of the Attorney General. So the Illinois, what is it called? The OIG office, Inspector General, the Office of Inspector General for Illinois. You should turn that into them with whatever evidence and proof you have. And also you should turn that into the public access. There's a public access email for the Attorney General's office. And you should turn that in there. Let me see if I can bring that up right quick. I just emailed them today myself. I don't think I have it up. But that's what you should turn it into. Yes, they did. Everybody did probably knew. Because Miss Stubbs is always about her business. It's one thing I know about her. She is very about her business. And I don't think that it was had anything to do with anything other than personal obligations. And just because you're an elected official does not mean you should neglect your family or your, family obligations, especially if your family obligation was already pre-planned. So, and some of those things you're not going to be able to do. Rules governing public comment. So then they reestablished the public comment rules here. Subject to the provisions herein, public testimony will be permitted at the board meetings. Any public speaker may address the board at the regular or remote meeting. Authorization to speak as a public speaker or to provide written testimony shall be granted to those individuals who have submitted in writing their name, municipality of residence, subject matter, and organization to the secretary or clerk. I don't know that it's that serious because these meetings are open to the public. I don't never put all of that information. And matter of fact, when I go to my meetings, we don't have to sign a paper. They just ask for public comment and you come up to the podium. They have the public comment period set for no more than 30 minutes. I'm just the messenger. Germane subject matter encouraged. So germane means they want you to keep your comments relegated to the agenda, the matters at hand on the agenda. The time limit of 3 minutes. And like I said, for a public comment, they have deemed 30 minutes as the total for that. I don't know how that will go if more people sign up for public comment and have 3 minutes each. But, that'll be how it goes. Master G, that is hilarious. To clarify, I was asking because the trustees can participate via Zoom. Yeah, they can, but if there's a quorum without her, they don't need her. So that's not, they wouldn't, permit that just because they already have a quorum. They would have a quorum without her. In an instance where she could be there, remotely and on Zoom, and they don't have a quorum, like I said, if someone else is going to be absent and they absolutely are not in a place where because you saw the rule is you have to be in a place where you're alone. You have to be in a room by yourself. And so if another person was going to be absent too and said they couldn't be in a place by themselves, then and Valerie Stubbs said she could, then that would happen. She would have had to come in remotely just to make a quorum. Let's see, it says disruptions prohibited behavior for public speakers. No vulgar or abusive language, inappropriate language. In-person behavior shall follow established decorum. Verbal comments and testimony must be conducted in respectful speech with no personal attacks. I don't think any of that will happen because, that old administration is gone. Disruptions in a meeting, speech or testimony by a public speaker after expiration of the time allotted. Speech or testimony by an individual who has not been recognized by the chair for public comment. Holding or placing a banner or sign during a meeting in a way that may endanger other individuals or that obstructs the free passage or view of others attending or viewing the meeting. Obnoxious, inappropriate, or rude behavior or comments by any individual or member of the general public in retrospective of whether or not they are a public speaker. If an individual engages in disruption of the meeting, including but not limited to any of the actions described above, the chair may rule the individual out of order, direct the individual to cease the activity, and impose other reasonable conditions for the individual's continued presence at the meeting. If the individual does not immediately comply the chair's order, the chair may direct the removal of the individual from the meeting. Unless otherwise ordered by the chair, an individual ordered to be removed from a meeting is excluded from returning to the meeting unless the decision of the chair is overruled by a majority vote of those trustees in attendance. Any two trustees may place before the body the question of whether to permit the individual to return to the same meeting. So this would be in a case where you could call for a point of order. If somebody gets kicked out and you don't feel like they need to get kicked out, you can ask the chair for a point of order, and you can say, point of order, I would like to ask to appeal the decision of the chair to kick this person out of the meeting. And then they will have a vote. If an individual is removed from 2 or more consecutive meetings of the board, the chair may exclude the individual from attending future board meetings and or participation in public comment or testimony periods at the meetings. And then the clerk will notify you if you are banned from future meetings. Wow, that's a lot. And so this speaks to what can and can't be done to you if you disrupt this meeting in a disorderly fashion. Key Price is currently out on FMLA, and I would say no. That would be my guess if we taking bets. Journey, my guess would be no. But again, that's a work in progress, and they cannot let him go while he is out on FMLA. He will have to return to work when his FMLA is ended, and then there will be a conversation, I'm assuming. For one, I don't know if he was board approved, and if he was not board approved, they can definitely let him go under the law, because you have to be board approved to be paid out of the general fund. I don't know if he's being paid out of the general fund or the general assistance fund at this point. I will have to go back and look again. All right, so that was that ordinance.
Cook County, Thornton Township, Cook County, Illinois. Here, a second.
Second.
I move to establish ordinance 25-003, seconded by trustee Avant. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Avant? Yes. Supervisor Harris?
Yes.
Okay, the one thing I want to say about this, right? Let me put my face on the screen. Is I think that there was some nervousness in the room, right? Because I think that this is NAPO's first time conducting a township meeting, right? So everything is a work in progress. Journey, yes, I told y'all that he was trying to get a knee replacement, so I would assume that he was able to schedule that and he got that done. That's what I would assume, allegedly. But as far as I know, he's still out here liking people's comments that is against this administration and liking people's comments that's for Lil Stank. He's still out there doing the same thing. Okay. But anyway, so I think there was a bit of nervousness in the room, you know, and just they're all going to have to get familiar with the process, right? Because one thing that I think was missing was the discussion, which would have answered a lot of questions for the residents that had questions, right? So supervisor should have called for someone to make the motion. Someone make the motion, and then we have a second. And then the supervisor asks, is there any discussion? Right? I think that is what was missing from this conversation. But I also think that it was a bit of nervousness. I don't think that it was done with malicious intent. I don't think that it was done because this is now a rubber stamp board. I feel like that it was really done just as an oversight, you know, nervousness, just trying to get through this first meeting and make sure everything goes well and there's nothing that caps off in this meeting, in this first meeting, right? And so I think the next meeting will be a lot smoother, and then they will remember to do those things. The trustees can also ask to be recognized and ask, is there going to be discussion? Do you know that Kiana Belcher has done that several times? If you pay attention to any of the Dalton meetings, she's asked, can we have discussion, please? And Lil Stink will say, go ahead, discuss, because she knows she have to. And so I think as they get more comfortable with how things are supposed to go, you know, those things like that won't get oversighted. You know, I just think it was an oversight in it. But if they had had discussion, maybe Mr. Dan's question would have been addressed, and, you know, all of these other things would have been addressed, because all somebody would have had to do during discussion was say, I just want to clarify that this ordinance is to put back into record the rules and establish a remote policy so that we can remotely call in, you know, just things that were removed when Lil Stank was in office and that hadn't been done. And so, yeah. Let's go, because they're going to do the next one, and then we're going to fly through this and we're going to be done.
Next, item 9B, the session of ordinance number 24-007, regulating the use of the merchandise and personnel promotion of county officials, under officials, Township, Cook County, Illinois. Second. Seconded by trustee Gonzalez. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Avant? Yes. Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes. The motion carries. Next, we move right along to new business.
All right, so let's talk about this. This one is the elephant in the room. This is the rescission. And I want to state this. You know, I want to state this, that with this rescission of ordinance, rescission means they are rescinding, they are recalling they are bringing this, getting rid of this ordinance. Okay, they are getting rid of this ordinance. And I want to say on the record that everyone voted yes to rescinding this ordinance. Everyone. There is no one person that was to blame for this ordinance passing, because everyone said yes. Everyone. I'm going to say that again one more time. Everyone said yes. Everyone. Okay? So if you all remember, and you can go back to, I think this was a meeting in 2024, and I think it was the third, maybe the third or fourth meeting. No, I think it was, the third or fourth meeting after Carmen gave the apology for her behavior, and she began to work with Chris. Is when this ordinance was actually put in place. And let's talk about why this ordinance was put into place. Let me see these comments because I'm not looking. Yes, when there is no decision, the discussion, the people will guess. Right. You know, there needs to be a little bit of discussion. Even if you're going to vote yes, it needs to be a little bit of discussion just to explain to the people what's going on, you know, especially if we don't have the information. First Lady Brown. Hey, First Lady Brown, how you doing today? Good to see you. Thank you for always providing clarity with these meetings. At this point, folks are just nitpicking at the new administration. Correct. We have to be even-handed, right? I'm going to point out some things that I see, you know, that can be done better, but I'm also going to say that they are a work in progress, right? Because they are, and they are new. You know, so, you know, we need to be unbiased in the reporting over here, and we need to make sure that we are fairly judging, right? If we're going to judge, we need to be fair in that judgment and make sure we have all sides of the conversation. And let's talk about why this ordinance was put into place. All right, this is the ordinance that they rescinded. Ordinance 24007. Is the ordinance that they rescinded. And you see the ordinance was put into place when Jerry Jones was a trustee. So you got to know that this was way back. This was way back when. So we can actually go back to the meetings and find out when Jerry Jones was there. But I'm thinking that this was done like after Carmen apologized. And let's see why this ordinance was put into place. So right here, this second whereas, is this the second or the, good Lord, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth whereas, let's read that. It says, the Township Board finds that it is necessary to establish clear guidelines and limits to the use of township funded merchandise for personal promotion by elected and appointed officials, thereby preventing potential electioneering. Okay, now that we have a new board, do we feel like we have any worry of them using any of the township? Let me increase so you guys can see. It's the fourth whereas. I don't think that we have anything to worry about with these new administration. And yeah, you never are, but we're going to get some explanation about it. My gut is shaky with Napoleon charged for some reason. Well, you're from going forward right now, you're still in trauma. So it should be, right? Because he's going to have to walk the walk at this point. We're going to need to see some action, right? We're going to need to see his actions. We can't go based off somebody's word. Oh, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, show us you're not going to do it, because we heard that from other people, right? And I don't think that we have a worry with this new board of them using township funded merchandise for personal promotion. Okay, Lil Stank was the only one that was buying things and then put her picture on it, her name on it, and handing out stuff and all of that stuff. Okay. And so this ordinance was for her. Even though she was still breaking the ordinance, this ordinance was for her, right? Now, let's go to this new administration, right? The new administration, right, is a team. At least that's what they're telling us, right? So with this ordinance in place, if they do something as a team, let's say they're going to do a something for the seniors, and they want to promote what they're doing for the seniors, but everyone's picture is going to be on whatever they put out, right? They wouldn't be able to do it because this ordinance says they cannot do that. They cannot put their image on anything that the township has purchased. But now that you have people doing things as a team, right? There is no one person that is on a food box. There is no one person that is on a flyer. They're going to be doing things as a team. So they would need to be able to have the ability to have all of their pictures. And I think that this is the plan going forward, right? To promote things as a team. To say, this is us, the board of Thornton Township, and we are having something for the seniors. And this is what it is. And everybody's picture and likeness is represented. And that's what it should have been, before, but was not. So, but this ordinance was rescinded so that they could then be able to begin to promote things properly. If you see, the signs have been changed in Thornton Township, and they have Napoleon Harris's name as the supervisor. And I think he even listed the rest of the trustees. I think all of the trustees' names are below. His name is here, and then everybody else's name is below his. And so they are already starting to do things as a team and be listed as a team. And so, and I think that is very important to show as an action to the people that no one person is moving without, we're not moving without each other, right? He's not saying, oh, I'm the supervisor, I'm Thornton Township. He's not saying that. He's saying that we are a team and we're moving as a team. And I am the quarterback, and this is the roster. Okay, this is first string. I'm the quarterback, and this is first string, and everybody is listed. Okay, and so that is the way that it should have been from the beginning. But they had to rescind this ordinance in order to be able to promote things properly for the township. So that is what this ordinance was for. It was for Lil Stank. Lil Stank is gone. They can get rid of it and begin to move as a team. So, really no alarm bells here. Just the removal. And you're going to see a lot of these rescissions probably, because a lot of things were put in place, if you remember, so that Little Stank wouldn't be able to do them. And if she did them, that she was illegal for doing them. So, and that needed to be put into record. And it even tells you right here, the purpose. The purpose of this ordinance is to ensure the integrity and impartiality of township governance by prohibiting the use of township-funded merchandise for personal promotion by the elected and appointed officials, thereby preventing potential electioneering. And that's what Little Stank was doing. She was purchasing the toy drive. She purchased the toy drive. She purchased the toys with the township money and then proceeded to make a flyer with only her face on it, saying she was doing a toy giveaway. Okay? No. And so now, if they do the toy, the Christmas event for the township, they can be able to properly promote it with the team's picture on there, saying there is a Christmas toy giveaway at the township brought to you by the team the board of Thornton Township. And there you have it. That is the reason this had to be. And like I said, you're probably going to see more of these being done, because they need to be removed in order for the township to go back to proper operation. SP, say it loud for those in the back. Stephanie will be able to give important input, his administrator. Yeah, she is an administrative assistant. She's not the head, but she has a lot of knowledge, and she's going to be great in the office, making sure that they stay in compliance with a lot of things and probably learning a lot of new things herself, which is great. You need seasoned people in there with the new people that you're going to have to put in place once you get through this list of employees that are not board approved. Yeah, serious. Okay, and so that's what that ordinance was for. We're going to run through a couple of things right here quickly. So the next things on the agenda was new business. Let me let y'all watch the video portion of it, and then I will give my thoughts.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes.
Let me go back because I'm sitting up here looking
Yes.
at the.
Trustee Avant?
That's crazy. Sorry. I can tell you, I am tired today.
Approval of bills from the General Assistance Fund, item 7B, and also the Road and Bridge Fund, item 7C. We have a second? Second. Second by trustee Gonzalez. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes. So items B and C, item 7, B and C passes. Next, we're moving on to old business. No old business to take up.
Oh, did I go back too far? I went back too far. Hold on.
I make a motion to approve the upcoming events. Trustee Stanley makes the motion to approve the 3 events, seconded by trustee Avant. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes. The motion carries and the events are approved. Next order of business is section 10, item D, the appointment of administrative assistant. Stephanie Wheeler, is there a motion to appoint administrative assistant? Motion to appoint administrative assistant. Second. Motion by trustee Gonzalez, second by trustee Stanley. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Avant?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes. Motion carries. There's no trustees report, and under the supervisor's report, we're still in the process of collecting information in regards to the audit that was being conducted, still gathering information on that, and we'll report back once I gather all information regarding that. Also, over yesterday, we had a great time at the parade, South Island Parade, as well as the Village of Thornton parade as well. Trustees came out, especially the atmosphere, everyone was happy, joyous, and getting along. And we expect that type of behavior to be inclusive around the whole township. So I plan on making it my business to connect with every inch of the township, from every mayor, every, as they say, nook and cranny, all 17 communities, to see and to answer questions amongst the residents, what we can do as a body to make sure that the township is being effective in your community. So that's my supervisor report. Once we get more information back around the audit, we'll share that accordingly. With no further business coming before this body, someone make a motion to adjourn. Second. Trustee Obama makes a motion to adjourn. Second by Trustee Stanley.
All right, so they made the motion to adjourn. Napoleon gave his pledge to make sure that he speaks with every mayor of every municipality that is under him, and to speak with the residents in all of those municipalities. I don't know how that's going to, how he plans to do that, but I'm sure that there is a plan that he's putting in place to do that. Hey, Bella, how you doing? Say hey to Noah. And I think it's Neva, heaven backwards, right? Tell him I say hey. Don't even worry about anything, Auntie. We almost done, and you can rewind and watch the replay. And yes, bingo night flyer is out. You guys want to see it? I love it. And this is reason why. Let's look at the reason why that ordinance was rescinded. This is the reason why. Boom. Look at that. Bingo night as a team. Bingo night as a team. The board of trustees for Thornton Township will be giving bingo night. You see that? No one person is the focus. Okay? That is why the order had to be rescinded so that this could be done. Even the tax assessor is on there. Look at that. You got the tax assessor, you got the highway commissioner on there. Everyone is represented. This is what a team looks like. This is how you bring a community together. This is how you do it. Okay? That is why. What I'm going through pictures of. Winky wonder what you want me to go through pictures of. Oh, tell it. Okay. So over here let's start from the left. From the left is the highway commissioner, and his name is Antoine Russell, I believe. Then you have Valeria Stubbs, trustee. Then you have Casey Nesbitt, the clerk. Then you have Napoleon Harris, the supervisor. You have Mary Avant, the trustee. You have Chris Gonzalez, the trustee. You have Cassandra Elston, the tax assessor. And you have Byron Stanley, the trustee. Okay. This right here is a team. Okay. This is a team. This right here is how you provide services and you let the people know as a team you can contact any one of us and get things done. Right? Okay. Sure. Yes, it's a great look. It's a team. Who is between Stubbs and Napo? That is the new clerk. Her name is Casey Nesbitt. Okay. So let me get to a few things from the new business that I wish we could have had. I wish we could have had a description of the summer enrichment program and what the budget looks like and is, and the breakdown of the budget. I wish we could have had that. Don't mean that they won't get there, but I wish we could have had it. Approval of township officials of Illinois newly elected official training virtual workshop. Everyone needs that except for Chris because he's been a trustee. But everyone that's a new trustee, that will be Valerie Stubbs, Mary Avant, and Byron Stanley. This is training for them, which they need to have and take. And then we have the upcoming events. Now, people were talking about the spending of money. These senior services is usually who does the bingo nights, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm not mistaken, I was told that their budget is pretty much okay. But, again, the audit will be done and kind of see where they are. They can do an in-house audit. He can have an in-house audit done and tell him, primarily, where they are. But I think this is one place they were not really so much concerned about. It says on the flyer that bingo night is only going to be once every third Thursday of the month. So once a month, not 2 times, not 3 times, not when you want the people to vote for you, but once every third Thursday of the month. And I would expect that this budget is, I think they will make adjustments to the budget as they go along. Once they see how many people actually come, I actually think that this first one, which is tomorrow, is going to be packed. And that's because Napoleon will probably be at this first one and everybody wants to meet and talk with him. And so, yeah, stop by this event, Auntie, and let us know how it was. And so I think, there will maybe even more people attending the bingo night. So the budget is probably pretty on track for that. Now, the Father's Day budget, which went to $7,000, but it's 2 holidays in one. Father's Day is falling on the Sunday and Juneteenth is on that Saturday. And so they will be combining those 2 events in one day and making sure that they cover all of the people that may come for those 2 events. Do you know if the department head stayed the same for the township? No, there were department heads that were changed. We can wonder. The IT department head was changed. There is now a new municipality administrator. I think the other department heads are work in progress because they need to see who's been board approved and who has not been board approved, and then that's going to be some other decisions that have to be made. Okay. And so in this way too, with everybody's picture on the flyer, you should expect to see at least 1 or 2, or if not all of them, coming to the bingo nights. And I hope that it brings out, more people, and I hope that the prizes are more realistic. Okay. Everybody's birthday. This is a senior services event, and it's going to be held on June 30th. I think that the budget for this is trying to encompass some of the birthdays that they may have missed. But I will have to get a little bit more information on that, and I will get back to you guys about that. And then we saw Stephanie Wiedemann appointed as an administrative assistant, as they should. Not that they had to, but right now with this transitioning and with all of the new things happening, they do need a senior person who really knows how the township runs, to be able to give some type of input. And so I think that was a good move. Time will tell how that will work out, and think what will be done will be done. But right now, maybe just for training and having, things be able to flow while other things get worked out, I think that was a good move. Yes, Robert Hunt is still there until they make decisions on what they are going to do. I'm sure that those are things that are being talked about and worked out as we speak on a daily basis. I'm curious about the lady that worked with seniors and would talk about them needing rides. I'm sure that the person will be making another appearance. All right. So, hey, Kim Johnson, how you doing? So, I think that these are all good things starting to happen. I'm glad that Napoleon gave a sort of supervisor's report. And I think that the trustee report, the supervisor's report, once they get all the employee heads, department heads situations worked out, I'm looking for them to require the department heads to be at the meetings so that people can get addressed in real time, right? I'm hoping that they set a table for them. Keith Freeman has no longer been at the township for a long time, and hasn't been employed there, and he's not there any longer. Donna. So I'm hoping that the department heads, once they get them in place and get everything they need to done, that they are required to come to the meetings, right? So that they can meet the public, and so that they can talk with the public and find out what the needs are, right? So if they introduce themselves and after the meeting, someone can be able to approach them and say, I have questions about this, and they get them answered, right? I hope that this is the direction that we're going to be going in. But like I said, this administration has been in office for a week. So we got a little ways to go. And like I said, did Stephanie get Keith's job? No, she didn't. She is administrative assistant. There is an administrator over her. But she's in the office, helping make sure that things flow, helping make sure that questions get answered that people might not know the answers to or what to do. And so I'm sure she's doing Stephanie. Stephanie is a very helpful, kind person, and she has a way about helping people. And so I'm sure that she, is doing that in the manner that she knows how to do it. There was no closed session, but I'm sure that that's going to change as they get these things worked out. As far as board approved employees, non-board approved employees, and who's actually on the roster, and these department heads changed over. And those types of things. So I think that this is a time issue. Just like we said in Dalton, things are not going to change overnight. Things are not going to be done on our timetable. They'll be done when they make sense for the township. And the only person that really is going to know that is the board of trustees, and they are working as a unit. And so I feel like, they're going in a good direction. They have a direction they're going in at least. And they are making strides in doing that. So the next meeting is next month. I also think that Dan Lee had a good point about since they have a senator as the supervisor and they're only having one meeting a month, and there's going to be an election for the Senate seats that are open, and those people are asking for votes to see if they can come out to the township and have a meet and greet out at the township. I think that would be a great, and they can pay for their own meet and greet because they have their own budget. But I think that they should come out to the township and set up and speak with the people that they're going to be representing. And that would be a great, meet and greet. I'm looking forward to public comment as it evolves and more new people come and ask questions and, talk about things that they want to see in the township or services that they would like to have. But those are my notes on the recap. That's all I have. And here it is again. This is the reason that ordinance had to be rescinded, so that they can move as a team, so that they all can be represented in all of the events, workshops, services, so that they can say as a team, we are here to serve you, and these services are for you. I think that is something that they have not had in a long time, and it looks good. It looks good to see every last one of those people represented, people that the people elected, no matter how small or how big. It looks good to see all of them on the flyer and not just one person. Brought to you by Lil Stank when she ain't brought you nothing. The township as a whole brought it to you. So, yes, this is a direction that is much needed. Yes. Yep. And everyone voted to rescind this ordinance. Every last person that had a vote voted yes. So, all right. That's all I got. What y'all got for me? Y'all got questions? I ain't going to tell you I got answers. But that's how I saw the township meeting. Okay. And we just going to have to watch actions. That's what we're going to have to do. Okay. We're going to have to watch actions. Yeah, it absolutely does. It sends a message, a clear message that this is a team. This is a board. And we're going to move as a board. So, and we're just going to watch and make sure that message continues on and on and on and on through this whole 4 years, right? How was dinner? I haven't had it yet, but it's curry chicken, red beans and rice. I haven't had it. My brother cooked. So I haven't had it yet. I've been up here talking to y'all. So. Oh, Miss Prima Donna, how you doing, Mom? I just try to give people clarification. I try to get the information. I try to make sure that I have receipts for the information. No, he didn't cook late. I think they ate at like 7 something, and I was up here online, so they don't bother me. At least they try not to. Yeah, thank you, Miguel. I don't really be trying to, explain. I just be trying to clarify the facts, right? Because I showed you receipts of everything that I had. I'm not explaining. I'm just showing you the receipts and, putting the pieces together. Okay, and that's all. And she do. And so that's all I feel like I'm doing. I feel like I'm just making sure that there's no hysteria, that we all stay calm and keep our wits about us and critically think, right? Critically think. Cognitively use these brains that God gave us to make sure that we are deciphering the information correctly. That's it. That's all. Okay? And I have a need to know too. In my older age, I have learned not to fly off the immediate handle at things that I see and do further investigation to make sure what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing, or to dispel and say, no, you saw that incorrectly, child. Get out your feelings. Okay. I think it would be great if the board could clarify facts. I think people were confused about the meeting. Yeah, while I'm ago, I think that, like I said, I think that was nervousness. I think that was a lot of the people are new to being trustees, right? And they don't know what to do. So I think learning the Robert's Rules of Order and knowing when you can ask something and then doing it, that is going to be something that's a learning curve, right? So the next meeting, I look forward to somebody saying, are we going to have discussion? Can we discuss and at least explain to the residents what is happening here and what this is all about? Sounds good, SP. Don't forget to bring me some down here in basement. Okay, I got you. Justin. Oh, no problem at all. I enjoy learning these things just as much as I enjoy presenting them to you. Oh, yeah, Justin, I got to keep him locked up because he's ADHD. He be everywhere. Yes, that is the beauty of aging in place. Yeah, it is. The ability to... No, I try not to. He gets a little off the handle if I feed him too good too often. I think that is the beauty of aging, right? The ability to take your time and think about something. I would just think back over my life when I was younger and all the times that I just flew off the handle. All right. And didn't have all the information. And how crazy I looked after I had to go back and apologize to people, or maybe even lose friendships with people because, I did something that was unforgivable to them, and rightly so. So, now I'm just a little bit more judicious and careful with people. The way I handle people is the way I want to be handled. And so, that's what I try to do now. And I do have the luxury of being able to sit back and just thinking about something versus acting or reacting. I do have a question about Napoleon's time. What are expectations for him to be physically in the township as well as other positions? So Winky Wonder, he made it to the meeting last night. So for me, I would feel like his intentions are to be at every meeting. There's only one a month during the summer months, right? So I would think that his intention would be to be at every last one of these meetings in the summer because there's only one. And like I said, I feel like the time, and this is just me, should be moved back to 6:30 just so that it gives him some time, because he is a senator, that if there is some sort of emergency meeting called in Springfield, that he can get there and back in time for said meeting, right? And so I think that, that is the plan, is to be physically at the meetings, the ones that are going to be once a month. And he has 4 years, right? So I feel like the plan is to consistently connect, maybe with 2 or 3 mayors a month in municipalities a month, in order to get their feedback and what services they may need and how they can assist their municipalities in support, right? Because he's in the township, so he's there for support. Anything that there's a pitfall in that municipality, then he can come in and, support them in whatever way that he can. So I think it's all going to be about schedules and timing. And, this is a dance. That's why you have administrators that will handle your schedule and tell you when you can fit something in, right? And then you be able to do it. So this is going to be about that. So, once that schedule is gotten together and everything is put on it so that he can see, then he can see as well where he can fit something in. Right? These municipalities are going to be having events, and maybe he can show up to the events and be able to interact there as well. And that will cut down on having, to do something specifically. But we do have to just think about he has other schedules and a family. So love that. Get out of here, feeling child. Okay. All right. Anything else? If nothing else, I'm finna get up out of here. I know y'all are tired of me. I'm finna get out of here. So we did the recap. I have a few other things to bring you. So what's today? Today is Wednesday. So maybe I'll see you again on Friday. We have a little bit more time on Friday because it's a work night tonight. Okay. Oh, Jimsy, you're welcome. Thank you, Wiki Wonder. DMG, thank you. Yeah, I'm finna go eat dinner if it's any left. It might not be any left, so I might be eating peanut butter and jelly. And yeah, that's kind of just is what it is. It's okay. All right. Everybody be safe. Au revoir. Au revoir, French. Au revoir. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Please like, share, subscribe if you feel so inclined. It's been a pleasure. I will review this in its entirety. Okay, girl. Thank you, Auntie. I hope you go make it the bingo night tomorrow. So don't try to review it tomorrow. Make it the bingo night tomorrow and maybe review it when you get home. Okay? Let us know how that was, Auntie. Let us know how the bingo night was. Okay? I love you guys. Super Producer wishes nothing but blessings for your life. Okay? Blessings for your life. Go out there to bingo and see the team perform. Talk to them. Get to know them. Tell them what you need in your community. Okay? Get out there and do that. Make them work for them votes that you gave them. Okay? Make them work for it. All right? All right. I mean, I'm not above eating a PB&J and going to bed. I will eat a bowl of cereal and go to bed. Don't matter to me.
I'm dominant. Every time you think of me, your heartbeat is prominent. It's astounding how your rest be sounding. Here's just be pounding. I'm reigning supreme in all your dreams when you find it necessary to.
Oh, I ain't want nothing, man. Just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, I ain't want nothing, man. Just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, I ain't want nothing, man. Just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, I ain't want nothing, man.